Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Weihrauch. And in today's episode, we're asking the question, can evil ideas be defeated? Now, before I start, let me say I want to focus on one particular idea that was prompted by an article I read in The Atlantic this week. But more generally, I want to use that idea as a broader theme because I think throughout the rest of our lives, there are going to be evil ideas that pop up in culture. And at different times, it's going to feel like those ideas are winning. But I want to show you that if this one is being defeated, then others of similar ilk can be defeated as well. You would have had to be hiding under a rock over the last year and a half to know that one of the most evil ideas manifesting in our culture is that gender is not a real thing. That a person has to decide for themselves whether they're male or female, independent of their created state or of their anatomical reality. We've covered this issue ad nauseum here on Wake Up, Look Up and showed how ridiculous it is that this seems to be confusing for people and how damaging it has been to so many people to buy into this delusion. But that's why it's interesting that in The Atlantic this week, they were showing how exit polling information coming out of this past week's presidential election shows that Americans, by and large, are beginning to reject this idea, at least in one specific expression, and that is the inclusion of biological males in female sports. You know, this has been one of the battlegrounds of this topic as what is called trans women, a man who was born biologically male but has decided he is female, is beginning to compete in sports against women, which is not just unfair, but actually oftentimes physically damaging to women who are just not big and strong enough to compete physically against people that were born biologically male. And what the exit polling is showing is that Americans, by and large, said this is a key issue for them and overwhelmingly said we do not want men playing in sports against women. And I say that this is significant because a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, it felt like we were trending in a completely different direction as a country. The current presidential administration was pushing back against colleges and schools that sought to regulate the participation of biological males in female sports. Don't forget that our most recent Supreme Court justice, during her nomination process, was asked, what does it mean to be a woman? And she said she couldn't answer the question because she's not a biologist. That's where we were not that long ago. But now people are saying, enough, this is crazy. I don't want my daughters competing against boys. I don't want my daughters competing against men. And what does that teach us? Well, it teaches us that bad ideas, wrong ideas, evil ideas do pop up and sometimes rise to popularity, but they can and often will be defeated. The Bible is full of instances about this as well, times where leaders are advancing one evil plot or scheme or idea or another, and God's people consistently, through argumentation and through the faithfulness of God, are able to defeat those ideas. This is why a feeling of inevitability is never something God's people should embrace. We should push back against bad ideas. We should speak truth in the face of lies. We should lovingly, winsomely, but unapologetically say this is right and this is wrong. This is true and this is false, because people's minds can change. Culture, society is often shaped by the people who showed up to have the debate. In only a year, the country is shifting dramatically on this issue. What other issues are there where through a similar pattern of argument and conversation and pushing back, we can move our culture towards human flourishing and away from neighbor harm? Listen, we have to acknowledge that from time to time, we're tempted to give up. We're tempted to think that our culture is broken and the brokenness cannot be stemmed. We're tempted to just say, hey, we're just waiting for Jesus to come back. But the promise of Jesus isn't just one day that everything will be fixed. The promise is, behold, I am making all things new. I've started and I won't stop until it's done. And with that promise as our backdrop, what we're seeing is that if we show up and join in, good actually can overcome evil. Truth can overcome fiction. Reality can win out in the end. Can evil ideas be defeated? Yes, if we show up and start to try. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. While you're here, we'd love to ask you to hit subscribe or to like so you get future content. If you listen to the audio version too, make sure you leave a review and a comment. That really helps. Consider sharing it on social media and helping us get the word out. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content that Christ Community Chapel is putting out, including the videos that are around me right now.